If you clicked on this video, you're probably telling yourself something like, I'll start next year, or 5 years from now, 45 isn't that different from 40. I want to stop you right there because I'm about to show you the actual dollar number attached to that sentence. Waiting 5 years to start investing at 40 doesn't cost you 5 years of contributions. It costs you 5 years of contributions plus every single dollar those contributions would have grown into, compounding, for the rest of your working life. And it's not a one-size number. It changes depending on your age, your monthly amount, and the return you assume. By the end of this video, you'll see exactly what that number looks like for your situation, what it costs in the required monthly amount to catch back up, and why even a stronger investment return can't fully undo the damage of lost time. This isn't about guilt. Almost everyone watching this has a real, understandable reason they haven't started, or haven't started again after stopping. This video isn't here to make you feel behind. It's here to replace the vague feeling of, I should really get to that, with an actual number, because a vague feeling is easy to ignore, and a specific dollar figure usually isn't. The common belief goes something like this: 5 years is nothing. I'll just invest a little more later to catch up. It sounds reasonable. It feels responsible even. Delay a little, get your finances in order, start when things are calmer. Here's the problem. Compound growth isn't a straight line. It's closer to a snowball rolling downhill. The snow it picks up in year 1 is small. The snow it picks up in year 20 is enormous because it's rolling on top of everything that came before it. When you delay 5 years, you're not skipping 5 flat years. You're skipping the 5 years where the snowball is smallest and slowest, which means the version of your money that would have had the longest runway to grow just never existed. Let's put a real number on it. Say you're 40 years old and you can invest $500 a month. If you start today and your investments grow at an average 7% annual return, a commonly used long-term market average, by age 65 you'd have approximately $379,000. Now delay that same plan by 5 years. Same $500 a month, same 7% return, but starting at 45 instead of 40. By 65, you'd have approximately $254,000. That gap, $125,000, is the real cost of waiting 5 years. Not 5 years of missed $500 payments, which only adds up to $30,000. The other $95,000 of that gap is pure lost growth, money your money would have earned if it had been given the time to earn it. Let's make this concrete with Sarah, mid-40s, rebuilding her finances after a divorce. When we first introduced Sarah, she was starting from zero at 42. Let's run 2 versions of her story, side by side. Version 1. Sarah starts investing $400 a month the moment she gets her finances stabilized, at age 42. Version 2. Sarah waits, telling herself she'll start once she's more settled, and actually begins at 47. 5 years later, same $400 a month, same market conditions. By age 65, version 1 Sarah has approximately $286,000. Version 2 Sarah, who waited, has approximately $185,000. That's a $101,000 difference for the exact same monthly contribution, the exact same investment strategy. The only variable that changed was 5 years of time. If you're watching this and you're in a season of life where you're telling yourself, once things settle down, this is the number that season is quietly costing you. Here's something most people don't realize. The cost of waiting isn't linear. Waiting 5 years doesn't cost twice as much as waiting 2.5 years. It costs more than twice as much, because the years you're skipping are always the ones furthest from retirement, which are the years with the most compounding time ahead of them. Let's look at this across different starting ages, all using the same $500 monthly contribution and 7% average return to age 65. Starting at 30, approximately $610,000 at retirement. Starting at 35, approximately $427,000. Starting at 40, approximately $379,000. Starting at 45, approximately $254,000. Starting at 50, approximately $169,000. Notice the drop between 30 and 35 is about $183,000, but the drop between 45 and 50 is only $85,000 in raw dollars, yet the percentage loss is actually more devastating because there's so much less time left for the account to recover. Every 5-year block you skip gets more expensive in terms of what it takes to catch back up, even when the dollar gap looks smaller on paper. You've also met Marcus, late 40s, self-employed, income that swings month to month, Marcus doesn't have one clean start date. His pattern looks like starting, stopping when a slow month hits, and restarting again 8 or 9 months later. Over a 5-year stretch, those gaps add up to real delay, even though Marcus never consciously decided to wait. If Marcus had invested consistently for those 5 years, even a modest average of $350 a month during good months and $150 during lean months, his real average contribution works out to around $250 a month. Compared to someone who invested nothing during that stretch and started fresh 5 years later at a full $400 a month, Marcus still ends up ahead by roughly $40,000 at retirement. The lesson from Marcus isn't you need a perfect unbroken streak. It's that something small and inconsistent started now still beats something bigger that starts later. Time in the market is doing more of the work than the size of any single contribution. You met David at age 50, right around the point where the IRS lets you start making catch-up contributions on top of the normal retirement account limit. David's situation adds a wrinkle the other case studies don't have. Waiting 5 years doesn't just cost him growth. It costs him access to years of catch-up contribution room he can never get back. Say David starts using his full catch-up contribution allowance at 50, investing $1,000 a month total between his regular and catch-up contributions at a 6% average return appropriate for his shorter runway. By 65, David would have approximately $291,000. If David waits until 55 to start using that same allowance at the same monthly amount, he'd have approximately $174,000 by 65. That's a $117,000 gap, and here's the part that makes David's situation different from Sarah's or Marcus's. Those 5 years of catch-up room simply expire. You can't go back at 60 and use the catch-up allowance you skipped at 50. The contribution room resets every year. It doesn't carry forward. For someone in David's position, waiting doesn't just cost growth. It costs a benefit that was only available for a limited window in the first place. At this point, a common objection comes up. I'll just catch up later with a bigger lump sum, once I have more money. It sounds like a reasonable fix. Let's actually test it. Suppose, instead of investing $500 a month starting at 40, you wait until 45, and then drop a single lump sum of $30,000 into your account, the exact amount you would have contributed monthly over those 5 years. And then continue with $500 a month afterward. At a 7% average return, that combined plan gets you to approximately $337,000 by 65. That's better than starting from scratch at 45, but it's still $42,000 short of simply starting on time. And this comparison actually favors the lump sum plan, because it assumes you can find an extra $30,000 sitting around at 45, which, for most people already behind on savings, is a much harder ask than finding $500 a month starting today. The lump sum doesn't erase the cost of waiting, it just buys back part of it at a price. Now let's flip the question. If you already waited 5 years, if that ship has sailed, what does it take to close the gap going forward? And it's the part that actually matters if you're watching this at 45 instead of 40. Remember our baseline. Starting at 40 with $500 a month gets you to approximately $379,000 by 65. If you're actually 45 and want to hit that same $379,000 target by 65, you don't need to invest $500 a month. You need to invest approximately $833 a month, a 67% increase, just to arrive at the same finish line with 5 fewer years to work with. That's the real practical cost of waiting. It's not just a number on a chart 25 years from now. It's a specific, larger monthly amount you'll need to find in your budget starting today if you want the same outcome. Every year you delay makes that required monthly number climb further. You met Linda as our 10-year runway example, mid-50s, further along in her career, less time to work with than Sarah or Marcus. Let's look at what a 5-year delay means specifically for someone in Linda's position, because the math changes shape entirely once you're closer to retirement. If Linda starts catching up at 50 with $700 a month and a slightly more conservative 6% average return, appropriate for a shorter runway, she'd have approximately $115,000 by 65. If Linda waits until 55 to start that same plan, she only has 10 years of runway left and ends up with approximately $65,000. That's a $50,000 gap on a smaller total balance, which means it represents a much larger percentage of Linda's overall retirement security. For someone with a shorter runway, 5 years isn't just expensive. It's proportionally the most expensive 5 years of all, because there's so little time left to recover from it. This is exactly why the advice in this series has never been, wait until you feel ready. The math punishes waiting hardest for the people who already have the least room to wait. There's one more objection worth testing directly. What if I just invest more aggressively to make up for the lost years? It's a fair question, so let's run the numbers instead of guessing. Take our 45-year-old starting late with $500 a month. At a conservative 5% average return, they'd reach approximately $205,000 by 65. At a moderate 7% return, approximately $254,000. At a more aggressive 9% return, which also comes with meaningfully more volatility along the way, approximately $316,000. Notice something important. Even the aggressive 9% scenario, starting 5 years late, still falls short of the $379,000 you'd get from a moderate 7% return starting on time. A higher return can close part of the gap, but it comes bundled with more risk, more volatility, and no guarantee, while time is the one factor in this entire equation that costs you nothing extra and carries no risk of loss. Chasing return is a much more fragile plan than simply starting now. There's also a quieter cost hiding in all of this: inflation. Every dollar you delay investing is a dollar sitting in a checking account or under a mattress equivalent, slowly losing purchasing power at roughly 3% a year on average, while the version of that dollar that had been invested was working to outpace inflation instead of losing to it. The 5 years you wait aren't neutral years. They're years where uninvested money is quietly shrinking in real terms, even while the number on the bank statement stays the same. If the math is this clear, why does almost everyone still wait? It's rarely about not understanding compound interest. It's almost always one of three things: waiting to feel financially ready, waiting for a better market moment, or waiting because starting small feels embarrassing compared to where they think they should be. Here's the pattern interrupt. If you're thinking, but my situation really is different, I actually do need to wait a bit longer, I want you to sit with something. Every single case study in this series, Sarah, Marcus, David, and Linda, felt that exact same way before they started. The math doesn't check whether your reason for waiting is a good one. It only checks the date on the calendar. There's no version of waiting for the right moment that beats starting an imperfect plan today. Markets move up and down in ways no one can time reliably, but time itself only moves in one direction, and it never gives back what it's owed. And here's the part that makes waiting so easy to fall into. One delay quietly creates the conditions for the next one. I'll start once this project settles down becomes I'll start once the new year begins, becomes I'll start once I've paid off this card. Each individual delay feels small and reasonable in the moment. None of them feel like the choice that costs $125,000. But they're never evaluated together. They're evaluated one small decision at a time, which is exactly why the 5-year gap sneaks up on so many people who never consciously decided to wait 5 years at all. If you're realizing right now that you've already been in one of these quiet delays, you're not behind because you did something wrong. You're behind because delay by nature doesn't announce itself. The only way out of it is the same for everyone. Pick a number and automate it today, before this turns into month 6 of I'll start soon. So here's the actual plan, if you've been putting this off. First, don't wait for a bigger amount to start with. The data we just walked through shows that starting small now consistently beats starting bigger later. Second, if you've already delayed, don't try to make up the whole gap in your head. Use a real catch-up calculation like the one we just showed with Linda. So you know the specific number you're actually working with, not a vague sense of I should invest more. Third, automate it. The single biggest reason people's I'll start next month turns into another 5-year gap is that starting requires a decision every single time, and delay requires no decision at all. Automatic transfers remove that decision entirely. If you want a step-by-step way to actually calculate your own personal catch-up number, not Sarah's, not Linda's, but yours based on your age and your monthly budget, that's exactly what we're building out in the next video, where we take someone from zero all the way to a real structured retirement fund after 40. 5 years feels small when you're standing inside it. It only reveals its real size once you look back at what it cost. The good news in all of this is simple. The version of you 5 years from now is going to wish you'd started today. So don't give that version of you a $125,000 problem to explain. Start now, even small, and let time do what it was always going to do. Work for you instead of against you.